It's do or die time as the San Jose Sharks try to stay in the playoff race.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is JD Young, and on today's preview episode of Locked On Sharks, we're going to have the rooting guide for San Jose tonight. We're going to dig into the Sharks Ducks and what to watch for, as well as why it's such a huge game. But before we do that, we got to preview, get to know this Anaheim Ducks team as the Sharks play them again here for the second time in a week. So we're going to look at how these two teams match up, projected lines, all that fun stuff. So let's get started with that, with how these two teams look. So the San Jose Sharks 37-33-7, Anaheim Ducks 41-32-5. Very similar teams in a lot of respects here. So Sharks 3.04 goals for per game, good for 18th, 3.19 goals for per game for the Ducks, 13th. Goals allowed 3.55, 31st for the Sharks, 3.54, 30th for the Ducks. Feels like there's going to be a lot of goals. 20.7% on the power play, 15th for the Sharks, 17.6, 25th for the Ducks, 76.7% on the PK, 25th for the Sharks, 77.3%, 22nd for the Ducks. So very similar numbers here, with the Sharks having a slight advantage on the power play, but everything else is relatively close between these two teams. Celebrini, of course, leads the Sharks in all the categories, 42 goals, 66 assists, 108 total points. Cutter Gauthier, 38 goals, Jackson Lacombe, 46 assists, and Cutter Gauthier, 65 total points for the Anaheim Ducks. This Ducks team, very good at they're an offensive team that's very good at driving offense and has struggled to finish this season, and you've really seen that as of late, especially with Cutter Gauthier out. They're third in the league when it comes to expected goals for at 5-on-5. So they do drive offense. We've seen that when these two teams have played before, their ability to drive offense. 13th in the NHL when it comes to actual goals at 5-on-5. Defensively, they still struggle. Expected goals against 30th in the NHL, goals against 30th in the NHL. The special teams have been similar to the Sharks here, in the goaltending. Lukas Dostal is either exceptional or he has struggled for them. So this is a Ducks team that's, can, a lot like the Sharks, can be a little hot and cold. Every game between these two teams have been 1-goal games, right? You think about the second game of the season where the Sharks blew a lead, 7-6 overtime game in October. Then when they played in December, the Sharks won 5-4. That was famously the game where the Sharks had 13 shots on goal. 5 of them went in, and they ended up winning that game. And then the last game they played last week, where the Sharks overcame a late deficit to win that game 4-3, thanks to Macklin Celebrini's heroics. So every game between these two teams has been very close, and I fully expect the same thing between them because, again, just of how important this game is for both teams here. So projected lines. So, of course, there's no Sharks skate today as they're on the second night of a back-to-back, of course, with travel in between them. So for the Anaheim Ducks, Mikael Granlund, Leo Carlsson, Beckett Seneca, Kreider, Pauline Terry, Killorn, McTavish, Veal, Zellweger, Washe, and more. Yes, that is defenseman Zellweger playing up there on the fourth line. Jackson Lacombe, Trouba, Michikov, Carlson, Hines, Hellison, with Dostal expected to start. For San Jose, again, no lines here, so really no idea what they're going to do. I expect some changes. The only thing we really do know is Askarov should be starting for them, but other than that, we really don't have any idea how much tinkering that we'll see from Ryan Warsofsky, but would assume probably similar to what we've seen with Graf, Celebrini, Smith, Eklund, Wenberg, Sherwood should continue to stay together. That's been the Sharks' best line for about a week now. Chernyshov, Misa, Toffoli, Gaudreau, Osapchuk, and then it was Gaudette. Wouldn't be surprised if Delanger comes in. We'll see again there. Orlov Darnay's last time it was Ferraro, Klingberg, and then Dickinson Leddy. So again, you could see a number of changes from this team heading into this game, as this is a very important game, not only for the Sharks, but for the Ducks here, as the Ducks trying to get one step closer to clinching their playoff spot and trying to snap a 6-game losing streak. And for the Sharks here, trying to just stay alive in the playoff race and live to fight another day. So we'll look at the odds and, of course, what to watch for in this game here in just 1 second. Spring is a natural reset point. If there's one thing that can quietly cost businesses money, it's messy communication. Missed calls, scattered texts, no clear thread of who said what. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Quo, the smarter way to run your business communications. Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2 with over 3,000 reviews, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses. It lets your entire team share one business number so you never miss a call, text, or opportunity. Great thing about it is everything lives in one clean thread, calls, text, voicemails. The whole team can see the conversation, so nothing falls through the cracks. And you get AI summarizations that save serious time by logging calls and highlighting the next steps automatically. It makes your business feel more organized and responsive. Make this a season where no opportunity, and more importantly, no customer slips away. Try Quo free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/LockedOnNHL. That's quo.com/LockedOnNHL. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, in the one position you have to fill still sitting open. When the pressure's on, you need the right hire, and this is a job for sponsored jobs. Indeed, sponsored jobs help you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for. Skills, experience, locations, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your posts. Here's a great stat that says it all. In the minute I'll be talking to you about Indeed, companies like yours will have made 27 hires using Indeed, according to their data. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of the show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just head over to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire. This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. And it is basketball playoff season. That's where every possession matters. Every matchup is magnified, and every game can swing a series. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers a great way to get in on the action. You can bet just $5, and you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. The app makes it easy to follow the action with player trends, stats, and matchups all in one place. And during this playoffs, the extra insight really matters when you're looking at stars, role players, and key moments. It just makes the entire playoff experience more engaging from start to finish. Wemby doing cool Wemby stuff. You're probably going to have a good time there. So head over to FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game. All right. This is a big game for the San Jose Sharks. How big? If the Sharks win this game, if they beat the Ducks in regulation, their playoff odds move up by 10.5%, according to Money Puck, up to 20.3. They're very much like life support right now. If the Sharks lose to the Ducks in regulation, they drop to 3.4%. It's basically like over there. Like you need a small miracle for San Jose to remain in the playoff race. So it is, tonight is a massive night for San Jose. The Sharks beat the Ducks in overtime. They move up to about 16%. If they lose the Ducks in overtime, they drop down to 7.3%. So it is a Ducks team that has been struggling, especially to score, right? They just got shut out by Nashville. A lot of that, I think, was Anunin, who was absolutely outstanding in that game for Nashville. But like, this is a Ducks team that has really struggled to score. especially with Cutter Gauthier out of the lineup. Like he's basically the only guy on their team right now who feels like he can put the puck in the back of the net. So this team, right, they've in the last couple games here, for the Ducks, 0 goals, 3 goals, 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals, 2 goals. Like this, they haven't been the offensive team that we've kind of expected and seen from Anaheim all season. So I think for San Jose, you need to not give them any hope there, right? And you played a poor defensive performance against a very good Edmonton team. Do not give the Ducks any offensive hope. That is the big thing to watch for. And trying to, like, the Sharks and Askarov cannot give up an early soft goal. Like, do not light that fire, right? Because the Ducks are going to break. Like, they're too talented of a team to continue to shoot this way. But tonight can't be that night. Tonight cannot be that night if you want San Jose to continue to push for the playoffs. So clean start, right? I know the Sharks are on a second night of a back-to-back, but anecdotally, like, teams on the back-to-back, they kind of get their legs going a little bit earlier because they just came off playing here. And for the Ducks, right, they played last on Tuesday. So I think both teams are going to be looking for a solid start here. But I think for San Jose, right, just do not give them hope early. We've said it a bunch of times, right? You can't win the first game in the first five. You can't win the game in the first 5 minutes, but you can definitely lose the game. And I think for San Jose, a nice clean start for them. The PK, we have to keep an eye on the PK, and this feels like a get right game for the Sharks PK here because the Ducks, they've struggled as of late. The power play is not super great. They've been having trouble scoring. Your PK has struggled and basically let everybody score. So this is very much a matchup between the movable force versus immovable object. Yeah, movable object versus a movable force or whatever. It's very much like whose special teams here can try to right the ship at least for one night. So part of the same thing, right? Just do not give the Ducks hope here early on, and don't take the dumb penalties, right? We saw a bunch of dumb penalties yesterday. You can't do it again today. And the Sharks' power or penalty kill has been steroids for anybody's power play right now. So don't put yourself in that position. As for the Sharks, like kind of the lines I'm watching for, right? We kind of expect what we expect from the Wenberg line. I think that line is going to continue to do what it's doing. I think Celebrini is going to have a solid game tonight, especially at the last time that these two teams played. But I'm really focused on the Michael Misa line, right? And again, we don't know who he's playing with, so we could see some changes there. But the Misa line's been a little quiet as of late. I thought they didn't play super great yesterday. I thought they had a really good game their previous game, but just weren't able to score. I think the Misa line, I'm really honed in on the Misa line and their usage. How much does Warsofsky trust them? Does this end up just becoming like a top 6 game? How much can the Misa line contribute? I think we'll know pretty early on what Warsofsky thinks of the line, if they're continuing to get looks out there, or if Celebrini is taking Misa's shifts, as we saw a little bit yesterday. So very intrigued to kind of see that for them. So I think it's going to be another close one. I think the Sharks are going to be a little frustrated after yesterday. I know the Ducks are way overdue for just like a scoring barrage here, but I don't know, man. Maybe this is one where it's just like it's another 6-5 type of game. So I feel like there's going to be a ton of goals in this game. And if there's a ton of goals, I like Celebrini's odds in that type of scenario, where I think he just can kind of will the Sharks to, and we've seen him do it a bunch of times. So I think the Sharks win. I think they live to fight another day. And I think Celebrini has a big night. And you know what? I think the Misa line comes through. Give me a goal from the Misa line. And I think the Sharks win 6-5 in an absolute barn burner of a game. So for tonight, the rooting guide here. So a lot of stuff happening in the Western Conference. So St. Louis, Winnipeg, we're rooting for St. Louis. Winnipeg is right behind the Sharks' heels here. We've also, that Minnesota Dallas game is going to be super fun. We're keeping an eye out. We're also watching Nashville, Utah. We're rooting for Utah in that game. Nashville has to lose some games here at some point. And Utah, I think they just need one. I think a win for sure, but I think they might just need 1 point to clinch a playoff spot. So we're keeping an eye on that. Of course, Sharks over Ducks. We're rooting for, Vegas, Seattle. Seattle is basically out at this point here. And then Vancouver over LA in regulation. Let me specify it. In regulation there. We're rooting for you, Canucks. You guys have already clinched the last place spot. Wait, now's a great time to be spoilers and then go back to being the worst team in the NHL on Saturday. So that's the rooting guide. We'll be back tonight, hopefully to live to see another day. Make sure you're following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until tonight, bye, friends.